Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Helen Williams Cumberbatch, and it is my absolute pleasure to guide you through today's virtual graduation ceremony. We will now have the national anthem, followed by the invocation. I now welcome Mr. Neil Sylvester, Dean of the School of Liberal Arts and Human Services, to deliver the invocation.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. Almighty God, today we give thanks. Thank you for bringing us together safely to participate in these graduation proceedings. Thank you for holding our COSTAATT community in your precious hands for these 21 plus years, and for opening our eyes to the fact that as long as we place you at the center of our lives, there's nothing we cannot achieve. We bear witness to that reality today, as our graduates will soon join the ever-increasing pool of COSTAATT alumni who have graced the halls of our institution. Almighty God, we pray that their COSTAATT experience has equipped them with the tools necessary to make a positive impact on Trinidad and Tobago, or any other part of the world where life's journey might lead them. Lord, we are but your humble servants, and we pray that you will continue to bless us and keep us safe as we carry out your will. This we ask in your holy name.
At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the President of COSTAATT, Dr. Gillian Paul. Dr. Paul will preside over the rest of the day's events. I now invite Dr. Paul to deliver the welcome and charge of the 2021 graduation ceremony. Dr. Paul.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for that warm welcome, Dr. Williams Cumberbatch. Dr. the Honorable Nyan Gatsby Dolly, Minister of Education, Dr. Marissa Nimrod, the keynote speaker for today's graduation ceremony, Dr. Rita Pemberton, Chair of the COSTAATT Board of Trustees, members of the COSTAATT Board of Trustees, Vice Presidents, Deans, Department Chairs, Program Coordinators, Directors, faculty, staff, students, and most importantly, our graduands for this 2021 graduation ceremony, family, friends, well-wishers, and other supporters of the 2021 graduating class. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's proceedings. The theme for this year's graduation ceremony is Ready for a Changing World. And it was both a hard and an easy choice for the graduation committee to make. Hard in that it forced us to acknowledge that our optimism that the disruptions wrought by the pandemic would soon be behind us and that things would return more or less to normal were quite premature, and that we are still in the midst of dealing with those disruptions. But easy in a way, because when we reflected on the ways in which you, our graduates, the teachers and the staff, confronted the disruptions head-on, pivoted quickly and efficiently to online teaching and learning, and continue to hit the ground running and move forward from success to success, we are confident that you are indeed ready for a changing world. So today I want to reflect a little bit on what does ready for the changing world mean in this new context. And I want to hone in on 3 lessons that I think that what I'm coining the pandemic experience has taught us. The first point I want to make is around the idea of knowledge and what we understood knowledge to be and what we now understand knowledge really is. And I say I hope that we all understand knowledge really is. So several years ago, when you made a decision to pursue studies at a higher education institution, advance your knowledge, there was an legitimate belief that this knowledge would be sufficient to support your career advancement goals, prepare you for a job, and that acquisition of technical competency, knowledge, and skills would be sufficient to achieve your goals. And I think that what we have seen over the last 2 years is that knowledge is not sufficient in and of itself to prepare us for job requirements or even requirements of life. In fact, every day we are bombarded on all media platforms by very, very knowledgeable persons who are presenting competing and sometimes mutually irreconcilable versions of knowledge, of what is real and what is true. And it has presented educators with a dilemma. But because I know the curriculum of the college intimately, and I know the competencies that we have sought to develop in our students and graduating class, I am quite confident that you are prepared to embrace a new concept of knowledge. Knowledge as ever evolving, knowledge as being optimized only to the degree that we exercise critical thinking skills, application of knowledge to changing circumstances, a commitment to reflect on knowledge that we have acquired and determine whether it still holds, and most importantly, a commitment to continuous learning. And I know that our faculty are very, very committed to developing what we call these soft skills in all of our students. So I am optimistic that one of the things that we are going to be prepared to do, having successfully completed our studies at COSTAATT, is to recognize that knowledge, with very, very few exceptions, is not fixed. It does not guarantee us stability and certainty. It is ever evolving. There are new discoveries, new knowledge, new skills, new voices that add to the debate, new perspectives that force us to reinterpret that which we thought was known. And it is only by embracing the uncertainty of knowledge that we are not disturbed by the debates that we hear every day, because we understand that this is actually the scientific process at work, changing and evolving with the circumstances. And it is my sincere hope that the experiences that you have had in your classes, with your debates, with your group projects, with competing views, would have prepared you for understanding that that is not a detriment, that uncertainty of knowledge, and that you are well prepared for the world. The second point that I want to make is linked to the changing knowledge environment, because we would have, when we started preparing you for your different careers and occupations, had a conception of what work looked like and what going to work looked like. And of course, we all know that now that has profoundly and most likely permanently changed. And so what will prepare you for success at work is no longer simply technical competencies, being the best and the brightest in your particular area. What will prepare you for work will be your ability to be adaptable to change, to be able to plan and execute plans in situations of total uncertainty and ambiguity, and to be resilient and agile. And to the degree that you are able to bring those other attributes and add them to your technical knowledge, you will emerge as a very valuable asset in whatever work environment you find yourself. You will be recognized as being a person who can be counted on to be a problem solver and not an obstructor of change, a resistor of change. Because change, which used to be quite infrequent and occasional, is now our constant. From one week to another week, we are going to have to deal with change, uncertainty, taking actions without knowing whether they will have the anticipated outcome. And I know that resilience is a hallmark of the COSTAATT student. Ability to deal with change is a hallmark of the COSTAATT student. So I know that you have had within the college, perhaps not as intensely and in the required breadth, but certainly the experiences that would have built those attributes in you. And that way I know that you are ready for what the new workspace requires. My third and last point is, for me, the most important one. And I feel that the pandemic has taught us about the importance of maintaining our emotional and mental well-being. Now, it is absolutely true that there is no successful COSTAATT student who does not know the value of emotional support, of a friend who will let you vent and complain about the teacher who wouldn't adjust the grade, who wouldn't take the late paper, who refused to listen to your point of view ad nauseum, still being supportive, or a friend who knows that you want to cry and knows how to make you laugh. Every COSTAATT student has had the experience of that COSTAATT teacher who did not let them slip through the cracks, who persisted and did anything and everything to ensure that they got to the end of the journey. Every COSTAATT student has that family member and supporter who, when they did not believe they would make it, supported them, reassured them, demonstrated trust and faith that they would. So we know what emotional support and that type of mental calm that you get from that support brings to success. But I do want us to acknowledge that the last 2 years confronted us with an intensity and suddenness of loss, grief, isolation, change that has been enormously stressful. And it does not appear that this is going to end anytime soon. So one of the pieces of readiness for the changing world is a kind of openness to destigmatizing getting help and understanding that in the same way you acquire cognitive and intellectual skills, emotional resilience is something that you need help to be able to build and develop. And for all of the students who played that role of standing in the gap, and all of the teachers who did that emotional lifting, heavy lifting when students could not manage themselves, you know that that actually in many instances was the deciding factor for the students taking the next step. So as you leave the college and you go out to pursue your different journeys, I want to encourage you all to pay attention to your emotional well-being. Without it, you cannot achieve anything. And pay attention to people around you who may need emotional support and who are not able to articulate it. So I am asking you to develop and hone your listening skills to hear what is said and what is not said, and to stand in the gap for others, as I believe we have stood in the gap for you. So with that, I declare today's graduation ceremony open. And by the powers vested in me and on the recommendation of the respective academic faculties of COSTAATT, I hereby declare that degrees, diplomas, and certificates will be awarded on this, the 19th day of February, 2022, to those students who have satisfactorily demonstrated evidence of competencies in their respective fields. To honor those recipients, I now declare this 2021 graduation ceremony formally open.
Congratulations to the class of 2021. Dr. Rita Pemberton, Chairman of the COSTAATT Board of Trustees and members of the COSTAATT Board of Trustees. Dr. Jillian Paul, President of COSTAATT. Vice Presidents, Deans, Directors and Academic Chairs of COSTAATT. Dr. Marissa Nimrod, Keynote Speaker. Members of faculty and staff at COSTAATT. Our honored guests, the members of the 2021 graduating class, family, friends, well-wishers looking on with us today, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the class of 2022. It is my honor to address you at your graduation ceremony today. I can only imagine the anxiety faced by all of you, having begun a program in not so ideal conditions. To get to today means that you would have had to think differently and work differently. You had to challenge yourself even more than normal to succeed. That brings me to a quote from one of my favorite American actors, Morgan Freeman, and let me show you my age here. In essence, he said, challenging yourself is the only path which leads to growth. Completing your program of study during the pandemic was an exceptional accomplishment, and I am sure that your lecturers, your parents, your circle of support are extremely proud of you. But how do you feel? What has this experience taught you? How has it impacted on you as an individual? Has it changed you? Has it motivated you? Inspired you? These are important questions for you to ask yourself. The answers will reveal self-truths that help us to grow. The theme of today's graduation is Ready for a Changing World. What a theme! Are you ready? Do you think you have what it will take to change this world? As I speak to you, another quote comes to mind. Don't be afraid of what you want. This is your time. The barriers are down. When we think of the challenges of living today, it seems like all we see are barriers. From our masks that bar our faces, to safe zones, to restrictions of every sort. But a barrier is only a barrier if it stops you. I am sure each of us can remember some time when something was important enough to us, or fun enough to us, that we moved every barrier to obtain it. So from maybe begging a guard to let you into the bank at 2:01 p.m. on a weekday, or asking your parents to bend long-standing rules just a little bit for this particular event, or asking your neighbor, who you know doesn't like anyone to pick their mangoes, just asking them to remove the barrier for you to just pick a couple of those beautiful starch mangoes that you can't resist. We've all broken barriers before. And this time, this is an important barrier for us to break, this COVID-19. Our barriers can be surmounted with a little thought, a little creativity, and a lot of sheer will to succeed. And that's what you have displayed. And that's what has brought us here to this point today. There's a Chinese proverb that says, if you're planning for a year, sow rice. If you're planning for a decade, sow trees. If you're planning for a lifetime, educate people. Your education is your passport to your future and to the future of this nation. We look to you to effect positive change and secure our nation in the years to come. We must look past the barrier that is COVID-19, because reverting to things and doing things the way we used to is no longer an option. Our modus operandi must change. The world is looking to the innovators, the think tanks, the next generation of leaders, change agents, barrier movers, and that's you. With the recently concluded Phase 2 of our National Consultation on Education, the Ministry of Education is preparing the foundation for the next wave of leaders and change agents. The consultations provided an opportunity for us to learn from each other and to propose new approaches to old problems, new approaches to improving our education system in Trinidad and Tobago. Our government is committed to doing this, and we take this mandate very seriously. I must thank COSTAATT's Board of Trustees, President, Vice Presidents, Deans, Directors, Department Chairs, faculties, staff, and stakeholders for your dedication and human service in this regard. Your commitment to excellence, regardless of circumstances, is what makes it possible for these graduates to be conferred with their degrees and certificates today. At the Ministry of Education, we greatly value our educators and the contributions that these phenomenal professionals make to the overall delivery of quality education. And of course, as a former member of staff of COSTAATT, my pride in this institution is, I hope, obvious. And I know firsthand the effort that everyone makes to commit excellence in service to this institution and to the students who pass through this institution. As I close, let me say again how proud I am of what today's graduates were able to accomplish. I commend the leadership of COSTAATT and the staff for their dedication to producing world-class graduates. To the graduates, you've checked in. Your passport is in hand. It's time to board and take flight as you contribute to changing our world. Congratulations and may God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my very great pleasure to address you Dr. Rita Pemberton, Chair of COSTAATT's 7th Board of Trustees, who will deliver remarks on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Dr. Paul. Dr. the Honorable Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, Minister of Education. Dr. Marisa Nibrand, our special keynote speaker. Members of the COSTAATT Board of Trustees. President of COSTAATT, Dr. Gillian Paul. Vice Presidents, Deans, Directors, and Academic Chairs of COSTAATT. Members of the faculty and staff at COSTAATT, our honored guests, the members of the 2021 graduating class, family, friends, and well-wishers looking on today, ladies and gentlemen all, good afternoon. Today's exercise is a very touching one, for as I convey the sentiments of the 7th Board of Trustees, which is cognizant of the ongoing challenges faced by faculty, staff, and students of the college, I am deeply moved by the ability to mount this morning's exercise, which had to be crafted in an environment of doubt and insecurity created by the pandemic. The board is extremely proud that despite the strictures, we have a graduating class of 600 achievers who are ready to take their place in the wider society. On behalf of the board, I commend all the students who fought against the odds, persevered, and completed their programs successfully. Rough as they might have been, these times have in fact been preparation for the realities of a changing world. It is an open secret that some of you hated the online classes and its rigors, but you passed. And guess what? Some became expert and developed new competencies. Online is now a fixture, not just in education, but in all spheres of life on the planet. You have shown that you are ready to operate in a changing world in which you must continually challenge yourself in order to recognize your full capabilities. What you have already demonstrated is that, according to David Coggins, if you can get through things you hate, on the other side of the coin is greatness. So, graduated class, The board is looking forward to greatness from all of you. We live in a changing world, and while we have been used to gradual change, the pace of change has become so accelerated that we must all become change managers and be prepared to deal with expanding technology, with its new components, new institutions, new functions, and new demands. Life is different, and we have to accept and internalize new ways of doing, new realities, new relationships, and new processes. The board remains committed to facilitating the ability of our students to adapt and become functional in a changing world. The board seeks to create a center that is conducive to teaching and learning, and in which the interests of students, faculty, and staff are aligned to the demands of the new environment. The board is in the process of recruiting a new president and senior administrative and management staff, and has embarked on a restructuring exercise of the college organization to facilitate its efficiency. On the cards also are the introduction of a wider range of course and program offerings, and ongoing discussions are being held with other tertiary institutions which would permit a seamless entry of our graduates into their program. The board will continue to engage in activity which will advance the welfare of the students, staff, and faculty as far as our resources allow. We recognize fully, and we hope you do too, education is power. It allows you to be what you can be. It is uplifting, it promotes self-fulfillment, opens doors, as it is the key to opportunity. It permits you to be able to navigate the sea of life during the storms that inevitably come with the changing tide. You have embarked on and completed stage 1 of the journey. In order to go forward and upward, continuing education is essential, and I urge you to pay very close attention to this. On behalf of the board, I express deepest appreciation to the president, vice presidents, management, faculty, administrative, and support staff for their unswerving devotion to duty during this difficult period, and for their contribution to the successful outcomes for our graduates. Once again, congratulations to all our graduates from the board, the 7th Board of Trustees, with our best wishes that 2022 would be for you all a year of abundance, advancement, aspiration, and accomplishment in all your endeavors. As you get ready to function in a changing world, we invite you to let your light shine brighter each day. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pemberton, for that stirring speech and exhortations to our graduates, which we know they will take on board. It's now my pleasure to really continue what we hope will be a new tradition in COSTAATT. We love to innovate and pioneer. And I would say maybe about 4 years ago, we started a tradition of inviting alumni who graduated from the college or the college's constituent campuses and who have gone on to achieve great things to deliver the keynote address. We feel that for the graduating class, it's really powerful for them to see that their decision to start was the most important decision, and that the keynote speakers show where that decision can lead. And it gives me really great pleasure to be able to introduce this today, our keynote speaker, Dr. Marissa Nimrod, and I'll share with you a little bit about her background so you can appreciate why we are so thrilled that she accepted our invitation to deliver the keynote address. Dr. Marissa Leslie Nimrod is an accomplished medical practitioner who began her journey at Neahurst in 1995, where she pursued an associate degree in medical lab technology. After NIHE, she went on to the University of the West Indies to pursue her BSc in biochemistry. And in 2005, Dr. Nimrod received a national scholarship to pursue doctoral studies at St. George's University, Grenada, which she completed in 2010. In 2018, she was selected as a Cancer Prevention and Control Fellow in a summer program at the National Institutes of Health and the National Cancer Institute in Bethesda, USA. Dr. Nimrod was awarded another scholarship to pursue a Master of Public Health with a Global Health specialty in 2018 and acquired her Occupational Health in Developing Country certification from the University of Bergen and Addis Ababa University, Norway. Dr. Nimrod's professional accomplishments are quite extensive. From 1997 to 2011, she held various positions locally, regionally, and internationally, including in the United Kingdom and the USA, and that's too many for us to mention here, but she currently holds all of the following positions. She's the member of the Non-Communicable Diseases Subcommittee under the United Nations Multi-Country Sustainable Development Framework, the Chief Executive Officer of Speak Associates, Screening, Prevention, Empowerment, Advocacy and Knowledge, Wellness and Prevention Company Limited. She's a health educator in oncology within the Health Education Division of the Ministry of Health, Trinidad and Tobago, CEO and Chairman of the Caribbean Association of Oncology and Hematology, independent consultant to PAHOHU in Trinidad and Tobago, and President of the Trinidad and Tobago Medical Association. Author of numerous peer-reviewed publications, Dr. Nimrod also participates in a myriad of other professional and community activities. Her impressive background is clearly a result of her perseverance and hard work, a pioneering spirit and willingness. Without a doubt, we know that she will be an inspiration to us all. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Marissa Leslie Nimrod to deliver the keynote address.
Good afternoon, Dr. the Honorable Nyan Gadsby-Dolly, Minister of Education, Dr. Rita Pemberton, Chairman of the COSTAATT Board of Trustees, members of the COSTAATT Board of Trustees, Dr. Gillian Paul, President of COSTAATT. Thank you for such a rousing overview. And Dr. Paul is also my former lecturer. Vice Presidents, Deans, Directors, and Academic Chairs of COSTAATT, members of faculty and staff of COSTAATT, our honored guests, the members of the 2021 graduating class, family, friends, well-wishers, looking on today, ladies and gentlemen. So the honor is mine to deliver the keynote address for this graduating class of 2021. Congratulations on the completion of another important milestone in your academic career. I'm sure that the past year has been a challenging one that marked the ending of a journey that has brought you closer to a new chapter in your life. Despite the challenges that you have faced during this period of a global pandemic with COVID-19, character traits were developed that equip you for success in this dynamic world. I have had the privilege of studying in what was NIHE just a few years ago, which gives a little hint about my age now, and I started in a medical lab technology program. So my journey began as an OJT, which is an on-the-job training. That was a program started quite a few years ago, and a dream. So let me tell you my story. So growing up, it's very easy to be impressionable by something that spurs you on towards something that you know you can accomplish. Back in my day, we had televisions that you had to have permission to watch, and probably until 8 o'clock at night, there was one particular show called Hotel, and I'll never forget that episode. So apparently there was a job vacancy for a secretary, and the owner or the hotel manager, Mr. Peter McDermott, I still remember, actually sent out applications for persons to come. Then there was this very bold young lady who walked straight down the corridor and she dismissed everyone. I'm sorry, the position's been taken. And I sat, I was probably 10, and I said, she's got some umption. I said, so how do I make this work in Trinidad and Tobago? And that begins my story. So what happened next was a series of events that defined the same principles which I'm going to discuss today. So we look at mental health. Man is actually composed of 3 dimensions. One is mental health, the second is his physical health, and the third one is social, which also includes divine and a faith in a God or someone that's higher. So we start with good mental health, which Dr. Paul had mentioned before. I looked at the confidence of this young lady, despite the possibility that she may have received negative feedback. The possibilities included that I don't know who you are, you're not welcome here, and any other thing that may have gone wrong could have, but she didn't let that deter her. This is what she wanted. She kept a positive frame of mind and she landed her job. Unfortunately, COVID has affected our mental health. There are quite a few persons, because of this changing landscape, who have succumbed to things like anxiety, not sure where your next meal is coming from. We're looking at possible loss in job security, provision for your family. And how do you adapt to the fact that you have to reinvent yourself to acquire just an income? Persons are depressed going forward, and we may not have all the resources to support such. So it is important that we look after our mental health, which means starting at home, as indicated. We try to be our support system. Charity begins at home. That's what I was always taught. So love is where it should begin. So hug someone, put in a kind word, lend support. You'd be surprised that one kind word or positive word goes a very long way. And this has also been my experience starting in COSTAATT. Then we look towards the physical component. We need to eat properly. We also have a very dynamic and changing diet. Traditionally growing up, people cooked food every single day. Now, because of this westernized approach and a fast-paced world, we eat out a lot. So, apart from the fact that oil and fat taste really good, we need to have a good selection. If you want to have good immunity, good faculties to think, then you have to put in the right raw materials to get the right results, which means that if you feed your mind well with a well-balanced meal, then you would expect to have clarity, you will have focus, and you'll be able to put in those long hours and whatever else may be required to help you get to your goal. So now we actually move along to the fact that there are some watchwords that still resonate today, and we have 3 which form our national watchwords: discipline, tolerance, and production. So I don't think I have to reiterate those, but that's where we will start. So some of the traits that you would have developed to date to help in a success-oriented approach for your future endeavors would have been 1, resilience. And I smile because Dr. Paul said the same thing, so some things are mirrored in my speech. So resilience is the ability to become strong, healthy, and successful again after an adverse event. And that can represent many things, with COVID-19 being one of our greatest challenges. If that hasn't taught us the gift of being resilient and coming and facing those challenges again and again and again, I'm not sure what else it will take. But that is one of the key traits that will aid you in your journey to success. Perseverance. The quality of those who persevere means that you continue to try to achieve something despite difficulty or discouragement. So when you leave with your certification and your degrees and your diplomas and you put it into that job pool, you may not necessarily have an interview immediately. And trust me, I know. I followed up with the OJT program for at least 3 months. I volunteered at the hospital and then landed a job. So don't give up. Don't be discouraged. If you really want something and you have a dream, keep persevering until it becomes a reality. Adaptability, the ability or willingness to change to suit different conditions. As we said, today it's more so important and necessary in an ever-changing work environment. And I think you've all accomplished that because online learning was something that took quite a bit of changing and adaptability to get you to where you are today in terms of becoming successful graduates. Discipline, as we said before, is having that action that's regulated in accordance with a particular system of governance. So don't always be the rebel. Try to respect rules, respect persons, and that particularly will help in establishing your networks and setting up that right pattern, habit, and orientation that will continue to do you well. The softer side of the traits include humility. Try to be humble. Try to love. Say good morning. In my days, you'd get a smack if you missed it. Today, that doesn't resonate. So if you're kind, humility goes a long way. Respecting persons gives persons that encouragement and assurance that you are someone worth investing in to take, teach, and to actually promote to go far. So we're looking at creativity. Creativity is generating or recognizing ideas, alternatives, or possibilities that may be useful in solving problems, communicating with others, even entertaining yourselves and others. So you need to create. You've been blessed with lecturers who have given you the basic foundation. Now it's up to you to take that and to turn it into something that you can use as your own. Whether you choose to start a business, whether you use it as an entry point into something else, which I did. I started medical lab technology, got into medicine, and because of the fact that I had studied here, had a great background, I had a wonderful A in pathology. So I was able to apply the information from here, create my niche, made my study time shorter, and become successful. And digital technology is probably coming to the end. Keep relevant. Set goals for yourself. Know that you need to be up to date. It shapes the society that you are going to be creating. Focus on improving yourselves. Set regular goals and timelines. And guess what? It's not paper for me anymore. It's all about technology. So being part of the community and family at COSTAATT helps us to build networks. The MedLab Tech team liaised with radiology, liaised again with information technology, and we're still friends up to today. Continue to build your family networks. Community is everything. Find persons who have the same goals and even encourage and inspire others to achieving, because not everyone has the same perspective. But if you actually live in a community, everyone has a say, and it allows us to put forward a collective vision. And then the last one would be your civic engagement or responsibility. Look towards things like volunteerism. Not everything is pretty much for a fee. Find time to give back to your community, give back to your family. It not only makes you feel good, it helps to build and actually help other persons out there to know that someone cares. And by lighting that particular fire, you create a spark, maybe to bring them here to COSTAATT or to engage in some other facet or activity that will move them along. So, as I close this presentation, I encourage each and every one of you to implement the values, skills, and knowledge that you have been taught. Be your brother's keeper, trust in divine guidance as you seek to fulfill your destiny. And once again, congratulations to the graduating class of COSTAATT 2021.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nimrod, for that extremely inspiring keynote address. And I'll join you in dating myself. I too remember the hotel series, and I think I actually remember that episode that you are describing. So, you know, all of us have the unique memories of the thing that prompted us on the road to where we are today. And I'm happy that you were able to share that so that the graduates can see where you start doesn't matter. You have to focus on where you want to finish. And finishing never ends. So we move now to another traditional part of our graduation ceremony, the college song, which will be performed by the COSTAATT Jazz Ensemble. It was written and composed by Miss Glenda Charles Harris, former chair of the Department of Environmental Studies. And we always encourage everyone to sing along lustily. It means a lot to us that she made that contribution to the college's history and graduation ceremony.
Dr. Paul, on behalf of the faculty of COSTAATT, I am pleased to recommend that these candidates be granted the Bachelor of Science degree, the Bachelor of Arts degree, the Bachelor of Business Administration degree, the Associate of Applied Science degree, the Associate of Science degree, the Associate of Arts degree, the Advanced Diploma, the Postgraduate Diploma, and certificates.
On the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of COSTAATT, I hereby confer upon you the Bachelor of Science degree, the Bachelor of Arts degree, the Bachelor of Business Administration degree, the Associate of Applied Science degree, the Associate of Science degree, the Associate of Arts degree, the Advanced Diploma, the Postgraduate Diploma, and the certificate with all the rights and privileges thereunto. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of two ceremonies for graduation 2021 at which the college will confer over 600 degrees, diplomas, and certificates. Because we believe that each graduate should be formally and publicly recognized on this day of celebration, each name will be read as the students' portraits and accomplishments are displayed on your screen.
Ken Gordon, School of Journalism and Communication Studies. Department of Communication Studies. Bachelor of Arts degree, Advertising and Promotions. Giselle Turner. Certificate Program, Film and Video Production. Eugene Hoyt. Certificate Program, Graphic Design. Kerwin Ellis. Donna Marie Johnson. Natalia Coilas. Associate of Applied Science degree, Graphic Design. Jace Allen. Angeline Aziz. Sophia Batiste. Khadijah Clifton. Sachin Das. Nicolette Hurst. Omari Jackson Paris. The 2021 Associate Degree Class Valedictorian, Rydell Jagrupsing. Brandon Joseph. Zidane Joseph. Christian Lacan. Achilles Leakin. Nikisha Lewis. Carol Maynard Bridgewater. Onella McBurney. Priya Ramsamuj. Kyron Samerson. Naya Theobald. Anastasia Thomas. Kimoy Yukku. Bachelor of Arts degree, Graphic Design, Jason Constant. Jared Corbin. Dominic Robinson. Connor Benjamin. Bachelor of Arts degree, Mass Communication. Kishara Andrew. Lesley-Ann Busby. Theresa Chance. Malana Cupid. Lana Drysdale. Eden Espinoza. Chantal Fletcher. Cherry Fraser. Stephanie Isidore. Kristen James. Hassan Khan. Siobhan Mahabir. Garvin Mortley. Andrea Murray. Lavon Phillips. Andrew Rodriguez. Corinne Sankasing Juwaran. Javon Stroud Mitchell. Anya Thomas. Denise Thompson. Avalon Williams. Kristen Lachelle Winchester. Department of Journalism and Media. Associate of Applied Science degree, Journalism and Public Relations. Rayan Bernard. Charisse Bovell. Michael Fraser. Jalen Gialdo. Cyan Gomes. Jaleesa Mapp. Akila Morton. Darius Phillip. Candice Sampson. School of Continuing Education and Lifelong Learning. Certificate Program, Court Transcription. Asha Belgrave. Deidre Charles. Natalie Day. Renelle Diet. Chanel Jack. Shea Leslie. Asha Mataba. Julie Ramdiel Balgobin. Summer Robinson. Kendra Sandy. Anne Scotland. Stephen Smith. Advanced Diploma Food Inspection. Alicia Dillon Edwards. Desiree Ann Durant. Lisa Galloway. Trisha Khan Munasar. Denise Naji. Bharat Ramkisoon. Sasha Ramlogan. Sharon Smith. Michelle Titus. Christine Wilson. Certificate Program, Infirmary Care. Keith Daniel. Ruben Dean. Naika Didier. Joshua Dookie. Winston Jacob. Imran Khan. Don Leon. Dexter Maharaj. Edward Moore. Nathan Moses. Kevin Naji. Siobhan Paul. Anderson Pascal. Sunil Ramdas. Kern Rivers. Jason Samaru. Akhil Sampson. Ricky Sipasad. Matthew Thomas. Simone Windsor. Advanced Diploma Vector Control. Nadia Ali John. Jillian Ali. Vanessa Brown. Jonna Carrington. Jody Corbin. Danielle Dionarine. Crystal Felix. Cavell Joseph. Sharina Khan. Lynette Lawrence Mark. Paul Maharaj. Laron Mansing. Joanne Sumari Charles. Jarrett Villafana. Afia Weeks. School of Nursing, Health and Environmental Sciences. Department of Environmental Studies. Associate of Applied Science Degree, Environmental Health. Tiana Along. Sunita Bachun. Selena De Freitas. Liana Rampasad. Kelly Richardson. Shireen Singh. Zania Son. Cameron Whiteman. Melissa Woods. Associate of Applied Science Degree, Occupational Safety and Health. Merle Knights McLeod. Carissa Lichon, Simone Monsigi, Vishala Nagasar, Onika Price, Giovanni Sylvester, Associate of Applied Science degree, Water Resources Management and Technology, Kimlin Williams, Bachelor of Science degree, Environmental Management, Oren Avanos, Latoya Diaz, Tishana Grant, Bachelor of Science degree, Occupational Safety and Health, Joanne Brown, Lyndon Cummings, Lystra Glasgow, Aisha Griffith. Certificate Program, Dental Therapy, Sharon Britton Isaac. Bachelor of Science degree, Dental Therapy, Kemi Alert, Natalie Braffett, Shanice Khan, Glenanne Modest, Deborah Samuel. Department of Health Science Technologies, Associate of Applied Science degree, Medical Laboratory Technology, Amelia Anderson, Sandy Boutram, Colleen Brooks, Abigail Cato, Crystal Debising, Leslie Ferdinand, David Frank, Sandy Lalsing, Apollonia Lucas, Mira Maharaj, Edna Stewart, Tenshi Rosano, Roden Angela Rosano, Adita Sukdeo, Lidma Wilson. Bachelor of Science degree, Medical Laboratory Technology, Ayo Alexander, Nasir Bahadur, Rehana Basdeo, Nicholas Bengi, Keisha Budan, Akila Hercules, Keisha Morales, Anya Oliver, Estella Ramkisoon, Sarah Serju, Declan Smith, Brandon Turi, Patricia Trotman, Shannon Udit. Certificate Pharmacy Assistant, Lakeisha Bain, Michaela Fonrose, Sasha Lois, Sati Maharaj, Tanesha Matthew, Petra Sankar Ali, Shanaz Simmons, Raina Williams. Bachelor of Science degree, Radiography, Roseanne Bihari, Suan Best, Chanelli Haynes, Anissa Hemraj, Anastasia Hughes Mapp, Kelly Lalit, Nandini Maharaj, Akida Mitchell, Crystal Morgan, Joseph Moska, Ravina Rupnarain, Naleen Sicharan, Sachin Sigobin, Michelle Solomon, April Williamson. Department of Natural and Life Sciences, Associate of Science degree, Biology, Faith Antwine, Sophia Bentley, Laurel Cromartie, Aaliyah Debedy, Christiana Lavia Keynes, Bachelor of Science degree, Biology, Pre-Med, Damian De Freitas, Shavana Jagannath, Lori Kissoon, Mikhail Lagal, Shanu Mahadio Singh, Sudha Mahadio Singh, Hafisha Maynard, Shanice Sankar, Maria Theodore Webb, Department of Nursing, Associate of Applied Science degree, Basic General Nursing, Akinola Adams, Beverly Anderson, Rayona Bailey, Nicole Batson George, Trisha Briggs, Kimberly Flanders, Malika Ford, Amrita Lachman Singh, Nichelle Natta, Shalenia Puran, Janelle Ramsaran Das, Alison Rouse, Janelyn Stevens, Paula Sutton Holder, Bachelor of Science degree, General Nursing, Hazelan Alexander Stewart, Kenesia Alfred, Cavell Alfred, Jessica Almorales, Najia Aman, Joanna Applewhite, Susanna Applewhite, Kishan Balgobin, Jade Bangu, Alicia Belfast, Kedra Benjamin Ellis, Corinne Best, Althea Buku, Razia Braffin, Lana Brereton Williams, Avalon Bruce, Tamara Cadogan, Anastasia Calendar Francis, Florence Campbell, Solange Campbell, Alicia Charles, Melissa Charles, Tamika Da Silva, Thalia Daniel, Vishala David, Valerie Del Joseph, David Dixon Jr., Celine Drayton, Maxine Edwards, Jonathan Eversley, Crystal Ferret, Tyann Figaro, Camille Fortune Bowler, Camille Fuentes, Jackie Garcia, Leah Garcia, Marissa Gopal Hossain, Merville Gordon Rodriguez, Tricia Gracie, Bridget Greenwich Charles, Sheena Harilal, Blair Haripasad Roberts, Laura Humphrey, Tanil Jack Semper, Nadine John, Candice Jones, Karen Joshua, Laura Jagoon, Renicia Kaiser, Akida Kurbanali, Alana Lazama, Siobhan Louis, Roma Munilal Lochan, Avinash Maharaj, Dev Maharaj, Christy Martinez, Chanel McCain, Hazel Mills, Salisha Mohammed, Anikara Najir, Charlene Nandlal, Arve Nichols, Liana Oliver, Chantal Perez, Amy Poyer, Shamika Proctor, Andriana Ramjatan, Michelle Ramlochan, Sophia Ramnath Kafi, Anna Rampasad, Cindy Ramsaran, Melissa Ramsumer, Nicola Ramsumer Sunarai, Louise Rollins, Akelia Reed, Nadia Richards Badesi, Atisha Sandy, Ermin Sandy, Havisha Sankar, Delicia Santu, Kimberly Singh, Lissa Singh, Maria Smith, Shalian Sukraj, Kurleen Telemak, Amrita Fakhruddin, Omar Thomas, Makeda Thomas, Trevelyn Thomas, Sharon Tulsi, Cindy Sasha Wilkinson, Anne Williams, Latoya Williams, Trisha Williams, Bachelor of Science degree, Midwifery, Natalie Agarat, Monique Archer, Renee Cornwall, Michele Cozier Mendoza, awarded posthumously, Celeste Fisher, Kimberline Fronten, Morella Mark, Paula Udit, Sintra Ramdale, Tashika Richards, Shellyan Sumai, Reynard Tiloxing, Keisha Walker, Jewel Williams Alain, Kezia Williams, Shamarie Woodard, Bachelor of Science degree, Psychiatric Nursing, Annalisa Burton, Jason Duncan, Latricia Furlong, Nakasha Hendricks, Nadia Jofield, Shireen Mohammed, Fayola Mondesir, Afisha Morris, Lakshmi Sukhdeo, Marsha Vincent.
Congratulations to the class of 2021 and to all family members, friends, faculty, and supporters who are here today to share in your success. Each year at the graduation ceremony, the COSTAATT Valedictorian Award is presented to the students who have attained the overall highest grade point average at the associate degree and bachelor's degree levels. The valedictorian with the overall highest GPA in the college at the associate and degree levels are selected as the 2021 class valedictorians, respectively. Today, the award for the 2021 class valedictorian for the bachelor's degree and highest performance is presented to Tiffany Alben, who earned a GPA of 3.963, having completed the Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice from the School of Liberal Arts and Human Services, Department of Criminal Justice and Legal Studies. And the award for the 2021 class valedictorian for the associate degree and highest performance is presented to Raidel Jagrup Singh, who earned a GPA of 3.831, having completed the Associate of Arts degree in graphic design from the Ken Gordon School of Journalism and Communication Studies, Department of Communication Studies. We will now hear from Tiffany Alben, the 2021 valedictorian for the bachelor's degree, to deliver a message on behalf of her graduating class.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All previous protocols observed. Colleagues, the moment we have been waiting for since we began our journey at COSTAATT has finally arrived. Although we could not have imagined 2 years ago that we would be sitting where we are right now, at home, or maybe at work, looking at a screen, it should do nothing to diminish the importance of this day and the effort we put in to get here. This is an achievement that is worth celebrating, and for that, I say to you all, congratulations. While brainstorming ideas to include in today's speech, the one thing I did not want to mention was the COVID-19 pandemic. I said to myself, that's so depressing. However, it would be unmindful of me not to speak about the one thing that has us sitting where we are currently. This is the one thing that caused a great shift in what we considered college life to be. There was no more driving or traveling to class, no more waiting for shuttles after class, and no more sitting in sometimes freezing cold classrooms. There was also no more greeting our friends with a hug as we arrived at school, and no more sitting to talk and laugh before the lecturers arrived. Remember those days? For a lot of us, the adjustments were difficult. Sourcing new devices and internet providers to attend online classes, tending to our children in their online classes, and learning to navigate our way through unfamiliar software are just a few of the challenges that we would have faced along the way. On the day that I was scheduled to take my graduation picture, a member of staff asked me to describe my experience at COSTAATT. In a bout of nervousness, I responded saying, academically, it was more or less smooth sailing. And while it is true that I fared well, I did not want to imply that it was an easy journey. I also do not want to disregard the challenges that we would have faced, not just during the pandemic, but before as well. Therefore, as we gather virtually to commemorate our accomplishments, may we remember all it took to get to this point and allow it to make the victory feel even greater. My journey at COSTAATT began at the age of 16, and for most of that time, I was fortunate to have a support system that afforded me the benefit of studying full-time without having to work. With that benefit, I knew that I wanted to apply myself diligently and use my time wisely so that I would not only make myself proud, but also show my family just how much their support was instrumental to my success. As a result, I earned the highest GPA at both the associate and bachelor's degree levels. However, even though one would expect such an achievement to be celebrated, getting it the first time did not feel that special. Unfortunately, I had allowed the opinions of some to make me feel as if I had only achieved it because of the extra time I had. I have learned an important lesson since, and it is best summed up in this quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, activist and former First Lady of the United States. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. When I think back to how I felt the first time I became the valedictorian, that quote resonates with me. Despite knowing that I had put in the necessary work to receive such an award, a part of me also believed I had it too easy. Roosevelt's quote speaks to feeling inferior because we allow another person to make us feel that way. Sometimes we may view ourselves or our opinions as less important than others may. I thought that in comparison to some who would have had to juggle work, school, and families, I did have it too easy. However, even though I did not have to balance as many plates, I made a conscious choice not to be lazy and to commit as much time as possible to my schoolwork. We do not need to let other people's opinion of us become our reality. Although it is sometimes helpful to consider the knowledge and experience of others, there should be a balance. We should never forget our passions and what we believe in. It is up to us and only us to determine the importance we give to any person or situation. Only you know what you are capable of, and only you know the extent of your determination. Now, I can say with certainty that receiving both awards was no easy feat, and I am beyond proud of my accomplishments. Additionally, there is one thing that will stick with me as long as I continue to grow and live. It is something that my significant other constantly reiterated to me, and I would have even heard it during classes from various lecturers. It is best captured in a quote by philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti. There is no end to education. It is not that you read a book, pass an examination, and finish with education. The whole of life, from the moment you are born to the moment you die, is a process of learning. I know that we can all relate when I say that not all exams were done with full preparation and not all papers were submitted having followed the rubric to a T. It is true that not everyone likes exams, and some of us have cracked under the pressure of the time restrictions and silent rooms. There would have been times where we received marks that were less than satisfactory, which would have left us feeling defeated. However, we made it to the end despite those hiccups, and we must remember that those exams and assignments were not the final test. They do not define our knowledge. We should always continue to read, and we can always refresh our memories of the things we learned when we began our programs. It is also important to remember the things that our experiences at COSTAATT taught us. Everything from the varying encounters we would have had with our lecturers, to the friendships we made, and the friends we've lost, has taught us something about ourselves or about how to approach situations differently in life. Some of us have developed new passions and skills. For example, I have become quite competent in creating videos using various apps like VideoPad and OBS Studio. And some of us have become stronger, more patient, and more goal-driven. Both the academic and social aspects of college life have contributed to my growth. May we remember that life teaches us lessons every day, and that there is beauty in taking the mistakes that we make, accepting them, and learning from them so that they are not repeated. Now, I would like to extend heartfelt thanks to my parents and grandparents, to my significant other and close friends, and to my mentor and lecturers. And I invite you to do the same wherever you are now with those who are around you. This achievement is for all of us because we could not have done it without you. Graduating class of 2021, who would have thought that we would be graduating during a pandemic? As unbelievable as that may sound, we did it. We made it to the end, and I am sure that it feels amazing. Take in the excitement you feel in this moment. Remember that your hard work has paid off, and remember to embrace learning as we get ready for a changing world. Congratulations, my fellow graduates. Thank you.
Now, graduates, we have come to a very special moment in this graduation ceremony and a well-established COSTAATT tradition, the Graduate Serenade. The COSTAATT Performing Arts, Jazz and Voice Ensemble will perform a special serenade to honor you, the 2021 graduating class.
I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance.
Thank you very much to the members of the COSTAATT Jazz Ensemble for that very fitting serenade. We'll now hear from Rydell Jagrup Singh, the 2021 valedictorian for the associate degree level, to deliver a message on behalf of his graduating class.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All previous protocols observed. Wow, valedictorian. To say this was a surprise would be a gross understatement. This was not even on my radar. Here's a funny little story. One day, I got a WhatsApp message from my wife. She had sent me a picture of a post-it note with a message on it. You see, not long before, my phone took a fall. The speakers worked sometimes, but the microphone had stopped altogether. So she knew that trying to call me was a waste of time. The note had these words on it: COSTAATT, Gwyneth King, valedictorian. And I was left to wonder why COSTAATT would call to tell me that Gwyneth King was valedictorian. Moreover, why was it so urgent that they would call my wife to pass on the message? Needless to say, I was thoroughly confused. Eventually, she was able to clarify. Gwyneth King works at COSTAATT and called to let me know that I was valedictorian. That made so much more sense. Except, I had no idea that I was even graduating. I still have one more semester to go for my BA, so this must be some kind of error. Then I spoke to Gwyneth King, and she informed me that I was indeed graduating, and that I am this year's valedictorian at the associate level. So yes, this was quite a surprise. It is my belief that the worth of an organization is measured by its people. It is all of you who bring esteem to the institution of COSTAATT and who lend merit to these honors and awards. Today, as we celebrate succeeding in the face of what at times felt like overwhelming circumstances, our success is your success. So, on behalf of the graduating class of 2021, I would like to express our sincerest thanks to everyone who has made it possible for us to get to this point. To the members of the administrative staff who have held our hands from day one and who have dutifully guided us along the long and winding road from admission to graduation. Thank you. To the faculty who have played so many roles along the way: tutor, encourager, antagonist, critic, helper, edifier, resistance, but have always been exactly what we needed to stretch and to grow. Thank you. To the ancillary staff, who were often the wisest and kindest companions during the wait to get picked up after evening classes. Thank you. Every day sees humanity more victorious in the struggle with space and time. An apt quotation from Guglielmo Marconi, especially against the backdrop of the current state of the world. The message seems simple, positive, and hopeful. Yet I almost did not use it today, as I found myself questioning whether it is really true. So I pose the question to you. Do you agree with this statement? What is humanity? Well, COSTAATT's favored Merriam-Webster dictionary gives these perspectives. 1, the quality or state of being human. 2, the quality or state of being kind to other people or to animals. If we were to go by the standards of the first definition, simply existing as a human, then we need look no further than the ever-increasing global population for proof of humanity's triumph over space and time. However, it was the second perspective which gave me pause. This is my 8th year at COSTAATT, and by the grace of God, next semester will be my last. 8 long and trying years. In struggling with what to write for today, I considered telling you about some of the challenges and how I overcame them. But my heart was not in it. You see, I understand that these days, struggles are a dime a dozen. We all have our stories, and you, like me, are here today because you were not broken. Or if you ever were, you did not stay broken. Suffice it to say that as I began to write this speech, I was not wholly convinced that the kindness of humanity was victor rather than victim. So I chose to share a different side of my story. And as I wrote this speech, COSTAATT once again changed my mind. When I decided to pursue a BA in graphic design, I had already been working in the field for more than a decade. Mostly self-taught, I decided I wanted to be more formally trained in design. My first degree in information systems and management, while I am grateful for it, may as well read lorem ipsum, as so far it has served as little more than placeholder text in my resume. Like most other people, I began my studies at COSTAATT with a view to increasing my skill set and marketability. Little did I know that COSTAATT had much more in store for me. As fate would have it, in my chosen field, I was always among the oldest students in my classes. I got along swimmingly with my lecturers, and because of my experience, I could relate to them much better, much more easily than my peers. At first, this wasn't a challenge, until it came to COSTAATT's infamous group assignments. There was a clear generational gap, and I sensed a general timidity and hesitance among my younger classmates. We were graphic designers, not engineers. Boldness, experimentation, taking risks should be the rule rather than the exception. It was perplexing. Then, one evening in the South Campus Mac Lab, while trying in my usual manner to persuade my groupmates to take the riskier option, they expressed a common concern. They wanted to try it, but they were all afraid to fail. In that moment, it clicked. This was their first time, their university experience. I felt bad. My confidence felt a bit more like flippancy. It was a defining moment. I didn't realize it at the time, but it was the beginning of my COSTAATT transformation, as unconsciously, my focus shifted from acing the assignment to helping my groupmates. Of course, I continued to gripe about group work, but all the while, it was quietly, subtly bringing out the leader in me. This trend continued as the semesters went by, and not only within my core graphic design modules. I earned many friends in various majors simply because I was always willing to help anyone who needed it. It is said that you reap what you sow, and that you should give away the thing that you need most. So I became an encourager. I'm not sharing this to toot my own horn, and it wasn't something I actively thought about. In fact, it was a lecturer who first brought it to my attention. Mrs. Julie Govaya Ferguson, at the end of the final presentations for my color theory class, came up to me and said that she had observed how the others looked up to me and that they paid attention when I spoke and that I inspired them. I was blown away. I hoped she did not notice the water in my eyes. It wasn't something I had ever been told before. I felt the commendation as well as the responsibility of her words. At that point, it was sealed. I was no longer in COSTAATT just for myself. COSTAATT indeed helped to change me, and I believe for the better. Not because it was perfect, but rather in its imperfections. Imperfections which forced me to adapt and to innovate. Imperfections that taught me to be patient, to forgive, and to just let some things go. But most importantly, it helped me to understand that my mettle and my worth are tied to what I have to give in life rather than what I receive. In conclusion, the question of whether humanity's kindness towards each other will indeed emerge victorious from this struggle will not be answered in this speech. It will be decided in how each of us chooses to live out the rest of our lives in this changing world. Congratulations, everyone, and thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and special greetings to the graduating class of 2021. I am Riaz Karim, the Simulation Lab Coordinator and Clinical Coordinator of the nursing program. Let me just take this opportunity to send my congratulations to all the graduates for reaching this significant milestone. To my future nurses, as you all embark on towards a professional career, hold close to these words which I'm about to read from the Nurses' Pledge. The Nurses' Pledge. I solemnly pledge myself before God
and in the presence of this assembly to faithfully practice my profession of nursing. I will do all in my power to make and maintain the highest standards of
practice of my calling. I will hold in confidence
all personal matters committed to my keeping in the practice of my calling.
I will assist the physician in his work and devote myself in the welfare of my patients, my family, and my community.
I will consistently endeavor to increase my knowledge and skills in nursing and use them wisely.
I will zealously seek to nurse those who are ill
wherever they may be and whenever they may be. I will be active in assisting others in safeguarding and promoting the health
and happiness of mankind. Thank you.
Congratulations to the valedictorians and to the respective faculty and staff of the schools on a job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me in congratulating COSTAATT's newest graduates. I invite Ms. Clorinda Jack, Dean of the Ken Gordon School of Journalism and Communication Studies, to move the vote of thanks.
Good evening. All previous protocols observed. Maya Angelou, American poet and civil rights activist, wrote, "Be present in all things and thankful for all things." It has been an honor to be present here, and it is now time to express our sincere appreciation to all participants, presenters, and organizers of our 2021 graduation ceremony. Firstly, let us thank God for life and for being here today to celebrate this auspicious occasion. Sadly, some of our graduates and loved ones are no longer here to share this special time. Let us remember them in this moment. 2021 graduating class, thank you for having chosen COSTAATT, for having stayed the course, and afforded us the privilege to be your guides and support on this phase of your life journey. Congratulations to all of you, and may your coming years be successful and happy. No person is an island, so we join you in acknowledging the tremendous support that your families and friends provided, from financial to physical to emotional support. Faculty, academic advisors, staff of admissions, Office of the Registrar and IT, custodians and security, to name a few, also worked throughout your time at the college to make your COSTAATT experience a truly transformative one. We thank them all. Today's event is a collaborative effort, which, despite the inevitable hiccups, came off well, I think you would agree. Thanks to the work and commitment of many people. The chairman, Dr. Rita Pemberton, your words are always thoughtful and encouraging. We are grateful to you and the board for always seeking the best interests of the college. Dr. Gillian Paul, you have presided over the last 9 graduations as president, and prior to that, as vice president academic affairs at every graduation over the 21-year history of the college. We are forever grateful for your unwavering love and commitment to our ever-evolving community college. We thank you. Associate Vice President Dr. Naseem Coilas, you continue to work tirelessly to ensure we maintain our accreditation status and provide quality education. Thanks for ably assisting Dr. Paul in today's proceedings. Dr. Marissa Nimrod, keynote speaker and COSTAATT alumna. Your words of inspiration and encouragement to our graduating class were truly timely and greatly appreciated. Continue making us proud. Our valedictorians, Ms. Tiffany Alban and Mr. Raidal Jagrup Singh, thanks for speaking on behalf of your colleagues and sharing your experiences and your truth. To whom much is given, much is expected. Make the most of your talents and remember to give back always. Graduation ceremonies do not happen overnight. They take months of hard work and preparations behind the scenes to pull them off annually. Join me in thanking the management team, the academic staff, faculty, student support staff, Office of the Registrar, Office of the President, marketing, our videographer, drivers, facilities, security, and all the other staff across the college who always do their parts to make this event a success. A special thank you to the COSTAATT Voice and Jazz Ensemble for continuing to uplift us with their soul-stirring performances. Graduates, this is it. Be ready for a changing world. Be smart, be compassionate, and always be thirsty for knowledge. Congratulations. We thank you.
Thank you so much, Jack, for that wonderful vote of thanks and for sharing my age so subtly with the listening audience. We really feel that you have captured sort of the essence of the graduation ceremony, what it means to the college and all the staff and how we get here every year and what makes it such a successful event. So, as usual, thank you for that. I now invite Dr. Williams Cumberbatch to formally bring this afternoon's ceremony to a close.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paul. We are now at the end of what has been a truly magnificent graduation ceremony. Congratulations to the members of the 2021 graduating class. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby declare these 2021 graduation proceedings over. Thank you all. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation of the COSTAATT 2021 virtual graduation ceremony. Please stand for the recessional.
Never had brands and the bling and the expensive things, no. I never had the money, never had nice living. My mama said, boy, you can have it all, just work hard for yours. I said, mama, you know I work hard for sure. Now just let me with the opportunity to fly country to country. Now I can drink champagne when I'm thirsty. Now I can see all the things and I must see. This is the sour you can't so lucky. Now I thank my father and my family. Now no bad man, boy, they can't stop me. And if you show I'm smiling, cause trust me, life is so lovely, boy. And I'm far from finished, boy. And I can't believe it, boy. See, I'm far from finished, boy. Love the life that I'm living. Sometimes when I sit down and I can't believe, I say na 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 na. I say na 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 na. I say na 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 na. I say na na na.
In the past and the people who laughed out. Forever grateful for all the times I failed. And Papa say, oh, girl, you can't give up. What's for you is for you. I say, Papa, you know I will never stop. No, 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 no.
I just with the opportunity to fly country to country. Now I can drink champagne when I'm thirsty. Now I can see all the things and I must see. This is the sour you can't so lucky. Now I thank the father and the family. Now no bad man, boy, they can stop me. And if you show us smiling, cause trust me, life is so lovely, boy. And I'm far from finished, boy. And I can't believe it, boy. See, I'm far from finished, boy. Love you like that I live it. Sometimes when I sit down and I can't believe, I say na 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 na. I say na 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 na. I say na 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 na. I say na na na. I say na 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 na. Trip and dance with your